Cheer me on. Tell me I'm awesome.
You're awesome!
Now I can do it. Hooray! What's going down, everybody? Snakebite Cortez. I know it's been a long time since I've done a Photoshop Commandos video, but better late than never. With this demonstration, I'm going to take something that was old and turn it into something new. This drawing I did probably back in 2005, maybe 2006. Early on when I was developing Roadkill Pizza Delivery. At the same time I was working on the hit graphic novel series, The Red Star. It's always interesting blowing off the digital dust of old pieces like this. Kind of gives you a little time traveling peek as to what you were thinking and how you were drawing and how you're approaching your art. Kind of like this piece, I like the rawness of it. I didn't have a deadline or a client, so noodling away is bound to happen. So this video demonstration is going to be mostly focusing on brushes and the art of how simple you can be using brushes. You don't have to really make it complex. I have tons of brushes, and in the past I've had hundreds of brushes, and thrown them away and gotten new brushes and downloaded other people's brushes and tried those and remixed those, but it's quite interesting what you can do with just the stock brushes that are in place. And once you manipulate the brush window and you know how to get around that and develop your own brushes, it becomes very powerful. Although I will say, I did create my own brushes for this painting. I use them in just a very simplistic way. The majority of the work is done with pretty stock brushes and just playing around with the brush configuration. So let's start off. I got a pretty stock brush here. Right now it's set at a taper, so this is just the default setting, it seems. You can kind of see it getting thicker and thinner. I mean, it's a soft brush, so you can harden it up. Change the angle of the brush. You can change how thick and thin it gets, depending on how hard you press on the Wacom. But then there's also other dynamics, like the pen pressure, and that gives you that painterly, like right off the bat you can build it. Gives you those nice brush strokes and energy. You can do fun stuff with that. But then you can go one step further and make it a dual brush. Alright, put texture in it. If you don't already know, this is the little preview window that the brush window gives you. That allows you to see what's going on before you apply it. Some of these are custom. Some of these are stock. You pick any of them and they can turn it into something else. I'm using the same brush, I'm just configuring it differently. And of course there's the color aspect. And you can mix the colors. Now the brush will pick colors from these two areas, the background and the foreground. Color swatch. So as you can see, just one brush has already given me a lot of options, and I haven't really even pushed the envelope yet. There's lots of different things I could do with it. I could scatter it. Play with the spacing. That gives me different effects too. And all of these brushes can be applied in different aspects of your painting. Like the softer brushes can be the skin, harder brushes being fabric, the hard edge brushes being more like metal and abrasive objects. Like your mama. Yeah, one brush, many purposes. Turn off the dual aspect, and you even have more fun waiting for you. Now the brushes that I used that were my featured brushes on this painting I'm about to show you is a speckle brush. Okay, so my Photoshop defaulted for whatever reason, so I gotta load my brushes. That's where you load brushes that you save. Luckily I back them up because I'm smart. My table squeaks when I work because I'm abrasive. So now here's all a lot of these are brushes that were stock brushes that I manipulated over here and saved over here. Because every time you manipulate it and you like a feature, like if I like that, I should save it. So I come up here and I go, oh, new brush preset. You name it whatever you want. It's going to default it according to your settings over here and what it recognizes from the stock brush. And you just hit OK, and now it's in your inventory. It'll be the very last brush you save. There it is. I have all these other brushes. Here's one of my custom brushes. Yep, you got it right. Skull and crossbones. Pretty tough looking. So, there's my brush. Space it so you can see it. There's my brush. I can do lots of things with my brush. Me and my brush are friends. It does what I want it to do. And that's why we're friends. Didn't listen to me and it had something snarky to say, I wouldn't be hanging out with this brush. So, I know you're excited to see what I do with this brush, but it's pretty damn exciting. Just you wait. So the other brush that I played around with was that speckle brush. Sparkles. Glitter. There it is. That's one of them. This one's already set. I turned everything off. Basically just look like this. No spacing. Look like that. This is good for hair. This is good for rocks. This is good for all sorts of things. Splashing. This is not the sparkle brush I was talking about, but it still serves. So those are the two brushes that I used. Not rocket science, but it adds to the normal brushes that Photoshop gives you. So you don't need to know a lot about Photoshop to do a lot with Photoshop. I don't want to hold people's hands through the process. I just want to show you a couple of brushes so you can get the idea that generally I just use stock brushes. And then if I want a certain effect, like I want a texture, you know, if I definitely want a pattern or an accent, you know, then I'll come in and tweak up a brush. But if I'm dealing with like 20 brushes, 30 brushes through a painting, I'm just gonna drive myself nuts. It's bad enough that we have, you know, potentially hundreds of layers at a time on a huge painting. You know, dealing with all those brushes just becomes a pain in the ass. But you know, there's some guys that just like master the art of organizing brushes, and that's dope, and they look awesome, and they're right too. Do it the way you want to do it. That's the lesson. This is just the way I do it.
Losing sleep, feeling weak, can't dream anything. Hit the street pavement, working on the sirens calling me like keyboards banging on my eardrums. fill the void, drown the noise, take another shot to the psychic radio that just won't stop. Sinking to the underground rails, take me cross town. Alarm clock sounds, I'm out of time. Silent hello, shiny voices. Bye bye, bye bye. Can never get enough of those shiny voices. Bye bye, bye bye. Silent hello, shiny voices. Can never get enough of those shiny voices. Signing in hello, shiny voices. Can never get enough of those shiny voices.
Working on your own stuff, you can be more open to things suddenly changing. You know, if you're working on for a client and they're liking the direction you're taking, chances are going a completely different direction would not be very advantageous. So leave that shit for your own personal stuff. Also check out the JLA I did for DC Comics over Criss Cross. Another Criss Cross Snakebite team up. You did an awesome job. Thank you, DC. Thank you, Cross. And let's do it again real soon. Hope you guys enjoyed that process video. If you got any questions, please don't hesitate to participate. If you're digging my videos, please subscribe to my channel and share it all over the place. Like, tell your friends, even the people that don't care. Just tell them, like, bug them about it. It'd be funny. You record it, you put it on YouTube, and then link me to it. Also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr. It's all about the mileage. You gotta work, work, work. There's no magic without the method. And the method comes with preparation and due diligence. So keep pointing and clicking, Commandos. And then I change my mind. Go over here. When I think about what I'm going to do over here, I fuck around with this. And I go, oh, I'm going to change this. And I do that a lot. And then at some point I surrender and go, it's just got to be done. Don't want to do it. Gonna do it anyway. Alright. Photoshop Commandos face on. It's an and undo, undo, undo.